beautiful folks, what is up and how are you doing? This is your favorite struggling R&B producer, Valentine the Plug. And when I say struggling, I am actually struggling today. And I'm gonna tell y'all exactly why. So I got this dope chord progression. And the chord progression goes F major 7, another F major 7 higher up the fretboard, cycles back to an A minor ninth chord, and that goes into an A dominant 7 flat 9, and that then is supposed to land on an A dominant sus4 chord, right? And the chord switches are kind of killing me, but I'm also trying to incorporate a lot of embellishments, which at this point in time are still challenging for me because I've kind of been slacking on my guitar practice. So I'm gonna just play all the chords loosely, individually, without the transitions. Then we're gonna head into FL Studio. By then I'll probably have ways a successful attempt at recording it, 1 out of 100, I guess. Then we're just gonna break down the beat, so y'all sit tight. Right here, but I'm actually trying to souse this baby up by hitting a hammer on. Boom, goes back to this F major 7 here, again with a hammer on. Cycles back to this baby here, and you can see my little finger is still kind of struggling. I'm not too dexterous with it yet. So after this baby, I gotta switch into what's actually a shape for diminished chords. And this is my A dominant flat 9 chord. So A7 flat 9 chord. And then I gotta cycle back to this A7 sus4 chord. And now I just gotta make it work while recording it. Alright, beauties and cuties, welcome back into FL Studio. Let's breeze through this chord progression. Now, in the beginning, I was talking about the F major chord, which lands on an A minor 9 chord. I actually transposed the sample post-recording up 2 semitones, so I'm now working in the key of G major. So that means that the first chord is the first note in the scale, first degree, the tonic, which is a G major 7 chord, which goes into an inverted G major 7 chord, which corresponds with the guitar melody, that guitar chord progression that I was playing. So that then lands onto a B minor 9th chord, and that then goes into a B7 flat 9th chord. Now, cycles back to the beginning, so same chords, G major 7, G major 7, B 9th chord, B minor 9th chord, excuse me, again the B7 flat 9th chord, but then I end the sequence with a lot of tension by landing on a B7 sus4 chord. And I understand that all of these chord names and notations doesn't mean a lot because the average viewer isn't too well versed in chord theory, and neither am I. However, I am saying that if it's R&B you want to make, and if it's on R&B you want to get better at, please challenge yourself to leave those minor 7 to major 7 chords behind and really delve into the cool variations of the B7 of the 7 chord that there are in existence, the augmented chords, your diminished chords, your slash chords, your sus chords. There's so much more to discover, and I hope to encourage y'all to do just that, because that's what works for me. That's how I got to this. Cool. So I can basically play y'all the sample. I just want to go back to Contact, and I want to introduce y'all to Glaze. And Glaze, I literally copped it today. I watched a couple of videos of producers demoing it, most notably Stefan Guy, whose channel I follow religiously. You know, follow his channel too for all kinds of R&B producing goodness. This library was just geared towards R&B producer. I'm a very big fan of Contact's play series, and you know, as soon as I hit the first patch of Glaze, I was like, damn, this is what I need. So this is what I'm going to be relying on a lot for this particular beat. So why don't I play y'all the sample that I got. And I said in the beginning, I'm getting Big Her and Jaquez vibes from this sample, and I still stand by that. So I did do a little bit of processing beforehand, and what you may not know is that I'm actually working with 2 layers. I've got 2 instances of contact. One is using the Lean On Me patch, and the other is using the Ghost in the Machine patch. The Lean On Me patch, they do sound similar. However, the Lean On Me patch is more breathy, more airy, which I liked using as a top layer with some filtering. And the Ghost in the Machine layer is actually the layer with a lot of glides, which I'm actually going to be using as a pad. So for that vocal layer, let me just demo it so y'all can know what I'm talking about. If I left it just as it would definitely clash with the pad layer that I'm trying to use. So what I did is I made a couple of big cuts, big high pass, a little bit of a low pass, added some wetness with choral. I had my phases on, but I'm taking that off since I don't really need it. And actually a lot of work is being done by the volume shaper, which I have set to 1/4 so that I get a gated pumping effect, and pan shaper. Basically this is a rhythm that I'm using all the time, a stock rhythm. I don't feel the need to change it. It just does that. Make sure that there's a lot of mangling, a lot of movement going on in terms of pan, so it just jitters from left to right. Really like that effect. My guitar processed equally as simple, just an equalizer, round replica, and crystallizer, which I plan to automate later on. And as for the big pad, well, nothing too special. I did increase the stereo separation. I added a flanger on top of it, and I did some little work with shaper box. So that's basically it. What I'm going to be looking for specifically is a couple of vocal chops, which I can then unleash, of course, my vocal sample preset on. Let me just load it into a track right now. And then I just kind of want to lay down the drums because I don't really need a lot on this beat. You feel me? I also have a separate, well, not a separate, another guitar pattern, which actually features this. Let me demo it for y'all first. And I realized that my strategy, especially when making guitar samples for R&B, is to have one pattern that plays the chords with a couple of embellishments, and another pattern that plays either an improvisation or the chords arpeggiated with some embellishments. And that's how I just try to introduce variation in my guitar R&B samples. And I do the same whether it's electric guitar or acoustic guitar. I haven't used Arcade in a minute, so let me just go see what's up with Arcade. Let me set it to the key that I'm working with. I think I've been very vocal about my gripe with Arcade and even Splice or whatever, all the big suppliers of vocal samples. But still, I try to look back, you know, I try to check it out occasionally, see if they can pleasantly surprise me. I don't think so, but I'm willing to give it a try. It actually works. It actually works. So let me just go ahead and extend that pattern, and switch it up just a little bit in terms of so that doesn't become too repetitive. And that should do the Trizak. Good, perfect. Let's move on. Ooh, so you know when you're in the flow, all the good ideas come your way and you're kind of wondering what to do with them. So that's me right now. I'm kind of politicking with myself. Do I want to stay at 120 BPM or do I want to drop down to 100 BPM and give it a lot more bounce? That boom, cut, boom, boom, cut, boom, cut, boom. I'm kind of feeling that more because I haven't made a beat at that tempo a lot. So I'm just gonna try. Fuck it, I'm gonna try. I like it, man. Got a groove going on. Love the perks, love the perks. Now we need a thick 808 to introduce the right kind of low end bounce. Alright, so let's take a quick dive into Sublab. So Sean Devine is a YouTuber mostly known for his amazing mixing tutorials in which he breaks down how to mix for R&B and trap and stuff like that. Easily one of your go-to mixing YouTubers. Apparently he also has a separate set of 808s that come with Sublab. So I took his Ghosts and Ghouls patch and I tweaked it just a little bit so it was more to my own liking. So I mostly turned down the distortion on the high end. It's amazing if you want a growling 808, but I need something that's more subby. So I turned down a lot of the higher frequency distortion and I finally got an 808 that I really think fits with this beat. You know, when you listen to it separately, I'm gonna demo it. It kind of sounds like separate notes and stabs of a Reese bass, and I really like that effect. So that's why I decided to go for this 808. So this is what it sounds like. Perfect, perfect. So let's drop that into our playlist. Make it all come together. Okay, so for that second part, I definitely got to add more 808 just so we can correspond with the kick better, time it on the kick, really get that bounce going on. Yo, beautiful folks, no cap. Obviously, well, I don't think it's my best beat, but it's among one of my smoothest, slickest, silkiest beats ever. Wow. At this point, all I really need to do is get the arrangement right. But let's go over the beat. So we started off with this guitar sample, right? Ooh. Ooh-wee. Ooh, cool, cool, cool. We supplemented that with these two patterns. Y'all feeling me? But then there's this vocal. Faint vocal, giving that ambience. This beat is practically perfect. Hands off. I'm not gonna change a damn thing. Just the arrangement and the mix. But you know what? It's a good thing that I remembered that I still wanted to automate Crystallizer. And that has to do with one thing. I just want to give that guitar a lot more presence. So what I'm going to be doing in the beginning, I am going to keep it turned off, but once the beat really starts picking up, working towards a climax, working towards a big moment in the beat, I want y'all to hear the crystallizer. And what the crystallizer is going to do is actually just going to take the effect, mangle it, synthesize it, use some granular synthesis, and turn it into a slick delay. And it'll sound something like this. A little bit of fine tuning because I don't need it to be that present, but it's still a dope effect. I'm still keeping it. So as you can see, I've already done a big part of the arrangement. So what we got here is an 8-bar intro, and then you got a 16-bar verse, where I'm actually just slowly introducing all of the elements, mostly of my drums. I'm giving you all the elements, all the melodic elements of the sample straight at the beginning, so you'll know what's up. Then it's a matter of giving and taking. I'm alternating between 808 patterns, so y'all can hear a change in tempo in where the beat is actually going. The beat's gonna give you the feeling like it really wants to go somewhere. I'm introducing the kick to accompany the clap, so you get a full-on drum beat, you get a full-on groove, you get the accents, you can just nod your head and vibe out to the beat. Then, first part of the hook, take everything out in terms of drums. All I leave is the 808, the crash, and the sample. Second part, it picks up. This is where the climax takes place. This is where you want the pop. This is where you want people to start jumping. This is where you want to ignite people, to light the fire under their ass and have them jumping around, just bouncing to the beat. Then, cool, we got a lot of tension build up. Release that. Back to the second verse. So what I got, I removed this part, which is the filtered vocal. Let me just demo it for y'all. I removed that. I'm leaving only the regular pad and the guitar sample, of course. Here you can see that the vocals, the arcade vocals, I only saved them up until the hook, but I'm actually giving y'all a sneak preview of that vocal in the second part of the second verse. And I can go on and on about how I arrange my beats, but you have to really be, you have to apply all of your elements strategically. Like, if I were to just leave everything on full blast from the beginning, it wouldn't be building any suspense. And you still want your beats, simple as they may be, to tell a story. And you can only do that by introducing elements, taking away elements, leading into elements, building up suspense for those elements. And once you master that and you consolidate that with all the other skills, man, there's no telling how big a beat maker you can be. Feel me? So your boy's gonna be focusing on arrangement and then just a rough fader mix, and then I'm gonna call it a day. I hope y'all enjoyed watching me construct the sample and deconstruct it, of course, while y'all were watching. I hope y'all enjoyed me building this beat with y'all. This is definitely a her and a Jaquez vibe. And you know, I hope you feel inspired to delve more into R&B chord theory, because I'm learning more every day. And trust me, I've only grasped the surface of it, honestly. And I hope y'all stay tuned as I, you know, develop my knowledge and expand and share it with y'all too. Y'all be easy. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.